All right, Miles, it's time to talk about the Super Bowl champions. We are legally, contractually obligated to call them the Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs, fresh off their massive come-from-behind victory over the Philadelphia Eagles in the Super Bowl. Another big title for Mahomes and company. A lot of good vibes going on for the Chiefs. And Mahomes had some interesting comments during their Super Bowl parade that I think details exactly why the Chiefs won this past year and will continue to win and potentially be unstoppable for the next few years to come.
Yeah, Chiefs fans, now I can ask you the question. You've had a couple shots at it now. What was your favorite Super Bowl? There's a couple that you could pick from potentially. So let us know in the comments below. You can finally answer this question. Which of the many Super Bowls that you've won was your favorite? Let us know in the comments below.
All right, Miles, but let's get to the story here for a second. So here's the big thing, right? Obviously, the Chiefs going through the Super Bowl parade after winning the title, all the vibes are good. Everyone's talking. And Mahomes, right? They've already probably had a few drinks on the bus celebrating. Everyone's got their natural inhibitions dropped a little bit, and they're just saying what's honestly on their minds. And Mahomes said something very interesting here. I'm going to read from the report from NFL.com. Mahomes said, quote, "Before we started the season, the AFC West said we were rebuilding. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know what rebuilding means. In our rebuilding year, we're world champs. This is just the beginning. We ain't done yet." All right, Miles. Obviously, Mahomes is excited here and he's jazzed up as he should be, winning the Super Bowl MVP in the way they did it. But I think he actually, in a moment of honesty here, really revealed something special about the Chiefs because this was a team, Miles, going into the season. This was supposed to be a rebuilding year. They lost Tyreek Hill. They got so young, right? People forget they started 4 rookies during the Super Bowl. If you start 4 rookies in a game in the NFL, you usually had a huge disadvantage. They started 4 rookies during the Super Bowl and won the game. If you go through all the rookies they relied on this year in 2022 that had a big impact, let's go down the list here, Miles. Trent McDuffie, stud, big impact. George Karlaftis looks like a stud, big impact. Sky Moore, Leo Chenal, rotational players who look really good. Darian Kinnard, awesome depth guy on the offensive line. I think it's going to be huge going forward. Joshua Williams made some big plays there, especially in playoff games, defensive back. Jalen Watson, a pick 6 against Justin Herbert early in the season, really set the tone. And of course, Isaiah Pacheco turned into a beast at the end of the year. I mean, Miles, the fact that you have this level of rookie production and rookie talent out of one class, plus Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes. I mean, if you're the rest of the AFC and frankly the rest of the NFL, are you absolutely just terrified of the Chiefs right now? I mean, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, you've got to be. And it's like in jest, we'll go back to the Joe Burrow comment of Joe Burrow saying, well, my Super Bowl window is for however long that I am playing for the Cincinnati Bengals. And, maybe we can think about that a little bit. There could be a debate about that, but that truly is the case for Patrick Mahomes. His Super Bowl window seems unlimited. Whenever he is on the team, he is good enough he can carry the team on his back, no problem. And he's very clutch in the big time moments. But I think, like you said, going back to the fact of the rookies on this team, the rookies on this team really kind of made it because you got another solid 3 to 4 years of these guys on these smaller contracts, and you can keep taking more shots at better rookies, refilling your ranks, and Mahomes' contract really isn't going to make a difference. The guy that really stood out to me is Pacheco. I really liked the hit on Pacheco. I thought he was really great. We were very, very high on him in training camp and things like that. We thought he was going to be a very strong player. Everyone thought that, he had a lot of flashes, but he came out and, in a player like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, who's kind of waning in his effectiveness for the Kansas City Chiefs, I think Pacheco and McKinnon are a new duo to go, and you don't have to pay Edwards-Helaire any kind of big-time contract. Probably let him walk. You'll be fine with the 2 guys that you got. So I really like this, and I also really like McDuffie as well. He's really come on strong next to L'Jarius Sneed. They kind of did their job. They against a really, really tough Eagles offense. Obviously, it's an offense that took them all the way to the Super Bowl. They did enough, especially in that second half. The defense kind of clamped down in the second half of the Super Bowl, and I was very, very impressed by these rookies. And I really think if they can continue to draft this way, like you said, their opportunities are unlimited.
And I think you hit the nail on the head with something there, Miles, when you talk about Mahomes' contract. Because one thing we always hear about is like, hey, once you pay the quarterback that big money, it gets a lot harder to win. Obviously, Mahomes, his big cap hit is starting to come into. Came into a little bit last year. It's going to come into it more this year. I think it's about $50 million in 2023, a little less, 49 and change. But when you draft the way the Chiefs do, like you said, it doesn't matter. It offsets it perfectly. Because you go back to 2021, right? These are young guys too. 2021 draftees. Creed Humphrey, Nick Bolton. These guys are legitimate superstars. We saw Nick Bolton almost have 2 defensive defensive touchdowns. Probably should have had two, ended up with one. Creed Humphrey is an all-pro guy. Trey Smith is a second-year guy as well as a really nice offensive lineman. You can go back to 2020. These guys are like considered veterans. Willie Gay, L'Jarius Sneed, you mentioned, right? Clyde Edwards-Helaire, though he's on his way out a little bit. Those guys are considered like veterans on this team, like grizzled vets that have been there before. They're really seasoned. They just finished up their third year. These guys are cheap, solid star or quality starter players. And when you have that ability to draft and develop players like that, you could pay Mahomes $100 million and you're going to be fine. Your roster is going to be in great shape. And because you have Mahomes, who was obviously going on his own transcendent path, and you draft this well and probably will continue to draft this well, there's no reason to think they would stop. I don't see a team dethroning the Chiefs anytime soon. They are going to be the number one team to beat in the NFL for at least 2 years and probably more beyond that.